So I think let's start the session. I'm just sharing my screen, starting the Six Sigma master batch. Okay. We can say 3.4 defects out of 1 million output. Okay. So make it more simpler as of now, but when we will discuss it in detail, what is DPMO and other thing, then we will talk about what is MO opportunity, right? As of now, make it very simple. Let's say I am a manufacturer of pens. Okay. Okay. So out of 1 million, which is 10 lakh pen, if there are only 3.4 defects, okay, if my defect level is only 3.4 defects out of 1 million output or a day, man, it's basically it's your product, your services, it could be anything, right? Then and only you can claim my process is very matured, okay, and it's at a 6 sigma level. Okay, so if you're having this much of defect, only this much, only 3.4 defects out of 1 million output, so you can assume that your processes are very robust. Then and only you can claim this level, 3.4 defects out of 1 million output. Okay. So this is a number through which you can understand what is the Six Sigma level. Start with the very basic concept of a Six Sigma, which is called specification. Specification limit. Anyone? What do you think? What is specification? Very, very basic concept. Not only Six Sigma, but it's a term which is related to the any of the working or any of the business flow. Let's take a very, very simple example. Okay, which is very, very generic. Let's say I'm a producer, I'm a manufacturer. Okay. One day, one person came to me and he asked me that, Amit, can you manufacture a pen for me? Or let's say, make it simple, pipe. He wants to manufacture for me pipes. Okay. So he told me that, Amit, can you manufacture pipes for me? The only expectation, sorry. Okay. So the only expectation from the customer that length is an important parameter for me, Amit. Okay. And the length of the pipe should be within a tolerance limit. Okay. And the length should be this is the tolerance of a length. Okay. Which means the length of the pipe should fall within this range only. Okay. Which is 5.5 to 6.5. And this is called specification limit. The limit which is provided by the customer, okay, which a producer or a manufacturer should adhere. That is called specification limit, and it is decided in designs. So maybe they share the designs, and during the contract, right, they will share this information, like what is the important parameter of the product, okay, and what is the specification limit, right? So in a specification limit, right, let's say typically a specification limit has 3 points. Mean is typically the average of all the products, okay, which we can sample. Okay. As of now, you can see everything is in discussion only. So how can you compute mean? Because the process has not started. Till now, customer is only sharing his or her expectation from the product. So it cannot be mean. Mean is the performance. Okay. So typically this is a target. What customer want from the product. Are you getting me? So it is never a mean, it's a target. Okay. So typically target here is 6. Okay, good. So now we understood what is specification limit. Sometime we call this specs. Yeah. Organization to organization, you can write. And this is specification limit, what I've seen. It is more popular this term in manufacturing setup. Now let's move to some of the IT service industry. In service industry, let's take a very common example there also. Okay, let's take an example of a customer care center. I'm a project manager in customer care center. Okay, and what is the service we are providing? Okay, we are let's say whenever any inquiry come from the customer, okay, we log that query. Okay, and then we transfer that query to an engineer, pool of engineers. And those engineers solve the query, and then we then communicate to a customer. Let's take a very simple example. Let's say I'm having some connectivity issue in my mobile. Okay, so what I've done, I just called a customer care from the Airtel that boss, I am having some issue in my connectivity. Can you please fix it? So the customer care center from Airtel, they transfer my query to the network engineers. Okay, and then the network engineers check the connectivity and then resolve the problem. And then he communicate to the customer care, and then customer care called me that Amit, we have resolved your problem. Can you please check and then confirm? Okay, and then they close the ticket. This is a very simple example of any service. Okay. Now in this case, now we are providing the resolution to customer query. Okay. Now in this case, what could be my specification limit? Typically in service industry, we call it as a SLA, service level agreement. Resolve. Okay. And in this case, based on the customer expectation, at many times even customer put it in the contracts as well. Now, what is the SLA for this particular metrics? For example, in this case, customer made a contract that you should close all the ticket within 4 hours. Okay. Okay. Then and only your quality is compliant. Otherwise, right, maybe I will penalize you. Okay. So in this case, the specification limit, or you can say the SLA, is less than 4 hours. So being a project manager, I need to ensure that each and every ticket which is coming to me should resolve within 4 hours. Because if I go beyond 4 hours, then what does it mean? It means I have to give penalty to the customer. It means my services are defective. There are some defects. Correct. Similar concept, okay, but different name. Upper and lower. 5.5 and 6.5. But typically, there are two types of specification. Specs. So typically, there are two types of specification. From here, we can categorize. The first is two-sided specification. The example just discussed, the length of the pipe where we have two-sided, which is 6.5 and 5.5. The other is one-sided specification. Okay. In this case, we can further categorize as lower the better, higher the better.